Buster Posey is a three-time World Series champion. He knows what it's like to be a winner, and he wants every other team in baseball to be gunning for a ring, too. Great news for Phil's fans. But shouldn't every team be in a win-right-now mode? What is the point in showing up if you're not trying to win? Thankful for being in an organization that wants to win. pic.twitter.com/GoToBixBedgeBuster. Posey, @BusterPosey, February 9, 2019. Posey is the latest star to show his frustration with baseball's slow off-season, where stars like Bryce Harper and Manny Machado remain unsigned days before spring training. His Giants teammate Evan Longoria expressed his displeasure on social media last month as well. What team out there wouldn't want a Bryce Harper, a Manny Machado, or a lot of the free agents out there? Posey said Friday when asked about the Giants possibly signing Harper. Related, Buster Posey is right on schedule, pleased with how hip feels. The last two seasons haven't gone as planned for Posey and the Giants. In 2017 and 2018 combined, the Giants lost 187 games and Posey only played in 105 games last year due to hip injuries. He'll be 32 years old in March and clearly doesn't want to go through another losing season. As far as the Giants signing Harper, we'll have to keep waiting. San Francisco, it was an odd scene on Friday. Farhan Zaidi was the first to meet with reporters during the annual pre-Fan Fest session, and the first question he received was about Bryce Harper. Bruce Bochy didn't get 5 minutes into his own session before being bombarded with Harper questions. Buster Posey, a couple of doors down, was asked about Harper several times. The Harper chase took up most of the oxygen in the room Friday, and for good reason. The Giants are serious about trying to sign Harper, a superstar they need, and on Saturday there were some signs that the run might be successful, but that also meant that dozens of current Giants didn't really have a chance to give many updates Friday. So here are some leftover notes from the first weekend back at Oracle Park. Ryder Jones had a gruesome knee injury last September, costing the young infielder a chance at real playing time down the stretch. Jones said he's 2 weeks ahead of schedule in the rehab process and anticipates having a mostly normal spring, although he may miss the first week of Cactus League action. It'll be interesting to see how the Giants use him. Jones is open to working in the outfield and some on the coaching staff have discussed it, but the injury might give the training staff some pause. I wrote last October about how much the staff loved Abiel Avellino's enthusiasm during a September cameo. That carried over into the off-season. Bochy said he regularly received texts from the young shortstop while Avellino played winter ball, which is not common. He ended up playing in the outfield quite a bit and moving all over the infield, and that should continue into the spring. Avellino will definitely be a guy to watch given Zaidi's preference for versatility. The Giants signed Rene Rivera to a minor league deal Friday, according to John Heyman, but a few hours later Zaidi once again said he's looking for catching depth. Buster is feeling great, but having some additional depth there is going to be important for us going into the season, Zaidi said. So, Nick Hundley? Well, a source said a reunion is unlikely. Hundley has been caught up in this rough off-season for players, and he's said to be examining offers to enter big league camps on a minor league deal and try to win a job, similar to what Hunter Pence is doing with the Rangers. If that ends up being the case, it shows you why players are so ticked off right now. Hundley signed one-year guaranteed deals the past 2 off-seasons and gave the Giants plenty of value. The Giants announced Friday that John Andreoli and Derek Law cleared waivers and were outrighted to AAA. Both will be in big league camp. Mike Gerber is in the same boat. Honestly, that's a good sign for this revamped front office. A strong executive knows the true value of his players and has a good idea of when to take risks, and thus far Zaidi has read the room correctly, adding Andreoli and Gerber and keeping Law. They may not be big names, but no team likes to lose inventory, and the Giants have not by correctly choosing which players to put through waivers. Brandon Belt and Cody Bellinger are very different types of players, but given how often Bellinger played center field for Zaidi's Dodgers, it's been easy to wonder if he'll throw Belt back into the mix in left. Zady's body language when asked left the impression that he doesn't love the idea. As we sit right now, we see him as our everyday first baseman. We want him to primarily be focused at first, but I think we're going to try to get him out there, in left, in camp, because you just never know how the season is going to unfold, Zady said. We want him to at least be prepared to do it. Before Harper became a thing, there was a lot of talk about the Giants and Raiders. Well, it sounds like it's no longer happening. That session with Brandon Crawford and Buster Posey produced some of the lighter moments from FanFest, including this exchange. KNBR host: how do you get the rights to the boombox in the clubhouse? Crawford: it's 2019, we don't have a boombox. The shortstop still is the clubhouse DJ though, and as he prepares this year's victory soundtrack, he may have to make an adjustment. Crawford and Chad Chop always got together in spring training to come up with the playlist while shooting jumpers at Crawford's Scottsdale home. But Chop, part of the replay team the last few years, was let go at the end of the season and has officially caught on with the Dodgers. San Francisco, there was a smile plastered to Jeff Samardzija's face Friday and Saturday, and why wouldn't there be? A year ago at this time, Samardzija was preparing for a camp where his shoulder never quite got there. He knew there was something wrong, but didn't reveal it until late March, when there was nothing else he could do on the mound to hide his condition. It was a year of starts and stops for the veteran, but after the most tedious off-season of his career, he's ready to head in one direction. My arm is craving more work and wants to throw long toss, wants to throw bullpens and sliders and curveballs and everything, Samardzija said. All I can go by is how I feel, and I feel really good. Samardzija knows this is not the end game, or anywhere close. He spent most of last summer ramping it up in bullpen sessions, saying he felt good, only to return to a big league mound and see 91 miles per hour on the radar gun. Doctor after doctor told Samardzija he didn't need surgery, which was a relief, but also led to some confusion. Ultimately, the Giants decided the 34-year-old needed an off-season of rest and rehab. Samardzija, a former college football star, has always been such a good athlete that you could picture him rolling out of bed in mid-February and pumping 97. But he rededicated himself this off-season, starting his work the day after a disappointing season ended. He has lived in the Scottsdale area in the past, but stayed in San Francisco this winter, working out at the ballpark 3 times a week at San Mateo rehab facility twice a week. By Thanksgiving, he was cleared to start throwing. As camp approaches, he's already deep into bullpen session mode. The Giants need to make gains everywhere in order to stay in contention, and a healthy Samardzija would be a boost. A lot of fans gave up on him last season, but the Giants would happily take a repeat of his 2017, when he led the league in innings, struck out 205 batters and provided 2.5 wins above replacement. Zady was in Oakland when the A's traded a massive package to the Cubs for Samardzija in 2014. He knows what he can provide, but he also has well-versed in Samardzija's 2018 issues at this point. He has said repeatedly this offseason that the Giants will not push Samardzija too hard. They have enough rotation depth that they can ease him in if the shoulder isn't fully ready. Zady said it would be a threat and react situation in terms of Samardzija's innings this year. Related, Samardzija opens up about what bugged him about football, but he's going to be built up as a regular guy. He said, Samardzija isn't planning for an easy April. He's eager to put 2018 behind him, and he thinks his shoulder will cooperate. Samardzija said last year was a tough one. But it's 2019, and thus far he's all smiles. I'm just excited to get back into that routine of being a pitcher, man, he said.